Diddy, what up? Never happened.
He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just said?
50 Cent dropped a photo on Instagram that pulled T.I.'s wife, Tamika "Tiny" Harris, straight into their ongoing feud. That single post triggered a domino effect, dragging in Tip's son, King Harris, who then said something that pushed everything over the edge and sent social media into chaos. Now people are asking if 50 Cent, with one Instagram post that he later deleted, managed to put the Harris family on blast and completely flip the narrative of this beef. So let's break down what really happened between 50 Cent, T.I., and King Harris, and how one post turned a versus debate into something nobody expected. To understand how this escalated, you have to rewind to the root of the tension, and it starts with one word: versus. Tip has been pushing for 50 Cent to face him in a song-for-song battle ever since versus exploded in 2020. But Fif has never signed off on it. This isn't new. T.I. has been campaigning for this matchup for years, publicly saying in multiple interviews that 50 is the opponent he wants. And for just as long, 50 either ignored the request or brushed it aside. Things heated up again in February 2026, when the Atlanta rapper doubled down during a live episode of Nightcap in San Francisco. The show, hosted by Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson, wasn't some low-key sit-down. T.I. was on stage in front of a live crowd, cameras rolling, directly calling 50 Cent out. He explained that he had spoken with Swizz Beatz about setting up a versus battle, and made it clear 50 was the one he wanted. According to Tip, 50 don't want no smoke and was ducking smoke. Those words were said publicly, on record, with Shannon Sharpe right there. Later, T.I. went even further.
Really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram,
Look at this, and let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids, and we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming
further on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. He claimed the two had actually agreed to a hit-for-hit showdown before 50 allegedly backed out. According to T.I., this wasn't one-sided. He said they had been moving around Los Angeles together doing shows and had a verbal agreement. The plan, he said, was for him to announce it publicly first, and then 50 would follow. But when Tip made it public, he claims 50 acted clueless. That's what made it personal. To T.I., it wasn't just about declining a battle, it was about breaking your word. He even questioned 50's character, and said this had shifted from music to respect. At one point, he stated flat out that he had no interest in sharing a stage with someone he doesn't respect. Once those comments hit the internet, fans started debating everything, whether T.I.'s catalog could compete with 50's, whether 50 was avoiding the battle, or whether he just didn't care. But one thing everyone knew, 50 Cent always responds. He's had high-profile feuds with Ja Rule, Rick Ross, Sean Diddy Combs, and Floyd Mayweather Jr., among others. He doesn't let things slide. And he did respond, just not with music. He didn't accept the versus challenge. Instead, he took it to Instagram. First, he posted an old Crime Stoppers Atlanta commercial featuring T.I., implying that Tip cooperated with law enforcement. That ad dated back to T.I.'s 2007 federal gun case and was part of his legal obligations. Still, 50 used it to suggest something deeper. He followed that by posting courtroom footage of T.I. testifying during the murder trial of Hosea Thomas, who was convicted in the killing of T.I.'s friend Phil Ant Johnson. That's when the internet split. Some said T.I. was seeking justice for a friend. Others felt it supported 50's narrative. Either way, it escalated into both men accusing each other of snitching, one of the most serious claims in hip-hop culture. At one point, 50 even referred to T.I. as King Rat, twisting the rapper's King branding into an insult. T.I. fired back, claiming he had paperwork too, and pointing toward long-standing rumors involving 50 and Kenneth Supreme McGriff. The beef had moved from music into a full credibility war. Up to this point, it was still rapper versus rapper. That changed on February 22, 2026. 50 Cent posted an unflattering photo of Tiny Harris performing and captioned it with a message telling her to keep his name out of her mouth. This wasn't a shot at T.I. directly. It was a shot at his wife, a member of Xscape and a Grammy-winning artist. The post didn't stay up long, but screenshots spread everywhere. Some said 50 went too far. Others said this is classic 50. He's taken aim at family members before, and it's part of how he fights online. T.I. jumped into the comments, signaling that the entire Harris family was now involved. And then King Harris stepped in. The 21-year-old didn't respond calmly. He went to Instagram stories and delivered an explicit rant, referencing 50's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, who was killed when 50 was 8 years old. That comment immediately struck a nerve. 50 has spoken publicly about losing his mother and how it shaped him. King didn't stop there. He posted images referencing tombstones with Sabrina Jackson's name and directly tagged 50 Cent. He even commented under 50's original post about Tiny, writing, "Where your mama?" The escalation was instant. What began as a versus debate had now spiraled into deeply personal territory involving deceased family members. At that moment, the internet exploded. Blogs reposted everything. Screenshots circulated across every platform. What started as a musical challenge turned into a multi-layered feud involving accusations, family members, and deeply personal attacks. And now the big question remains, was this just another chapter in 50 Cent's long history of online warfare? Or did this one cross a line that can't be uncrossed?